2002. Almost 25 years have passed since the original release of Gundam. For the past 10, Sunrise has riffed on the Gundam formula with mixed results. Nothing they've made has captured the same amount of attention, or sold the same amount of toys, as the original setting. And while the Universal Century moves merchandise like no other, UC fans aren't exactly a young, growing demographic, and the original series is only becoming more dated. Sunrise decided enough was enough. It was time to remake the original Gundam. A graphical remaster wouldn't be enough, though. In order for Gundam to survive in the 21st century, they'd have to incorporate all they learned since the original series, and update its story to be relevant in a post-9/11 world. This was to be more than just a remake, or even a reimagining. It was to be a reinvention. What we got is, without question, one of the single most popular Gundam franchises ever created. Gundam SEED has made waves unlike any series since the original. It is also, without question, the most divisive Gundam series of all time. Nothing comes close. The Cosmic Era is the setting of Gundam SEED. It consists of 2 television shows, which have been variably remastered and conglomerated into a number of movies. A spin-off movie, and a metric ton of spin-off books and manga. In the grand tradition of Gundam series, and befitting of its genesis, it is a lot like the original Gundam. In the Cosmic Era, the Earth is orbited by a number of space colonies called Productive Location Ally on Nexus Technology, or plants, whose inhabitants are known as coordinators, test tube super babies who have been genetically enhanced to human perfection. They do not get along well with the natural humans still on Earth, who mostly comprise the superstate of the Earth Alliance. To the point where the plants and the Earth Alliance have started nuking the hell out of each other. Until the plant's military arm, the Zodiac Alliance Freedom Treaty, or ZAFT, invented technology that prevents nuclear reactions from occurring. And then they invented battery-powered mobile suits. ZAFT starts dominating the Earth Alliance in the war until the Federation secretly develops mobile suits of their own, hidden in a neutral space colony. These new mobile suits, with kind of familiar designs, possess special phase shift armor technology that makes them impervious to physical damage, so long as the mobile suit's battery holds power. ZAFT finds out about this and attempts to steal the lot before the Federation can field them, but teenage student Kira Yamato ends up taking control of one, the Strike, and is forcibly conscripted into the Earth Alliance military. But oops, turns out Kira is himself a coordinator, and his childhood friend, Athrun Zala, is piloting one of the stolen Gundams. And given the Earth Alliance and ZAFT both seem to be really interested in mutual genocide, this conflict doesn't seem to be going very well, for anyone involved. As far as setups go, it's pretty good. And as Gundam SEED goes on, it simultaneously does its own thing while leaning very heavily on the tropes and some of the smaller events from the original series. The stakes are higher, and the conflict as a whole is made very personal. It's not just kid thrust into a war he didn't sign up for. It's Kira being forced to fight his friend Athrun, and their challenges in reconciling their place as being both friends and unwitting enemies, as they just keep on killing each other's other friends. And boy, they do sure keep on dying. It's also Kira dealing with the fact that he's on a ship working for a military where people hate his guts just for being born. Pretty good reason to not be thrilled with his lot. But, well, okay. Like I said, the Cosmic Era is very divisive. There are many people who love it and many people who hate it. I must admit, I am in the latter camp, though I'm not so bullheaded that I can't acknowledge why other people do enjoy it. The Cosmic Era is the extreme version of the Universal Century. Everything is taken to the next level in terms of melodrama, character interactions and motivations, the action, even the setting. It very much has a philosophy of more is more. Here's an example. The original Gundam has new types, psychic individuals around whom most of the conflict ends up focusing. Amuro Ray, the protagonist, is one of the first of these emergent new types, and his abilities end up being pretty key to his survival and the story throughout the original series. SEED in turn has coordinators, the genetically enhanced super babies that form the center of its conflict. It also has biological CPUs, drug-enhanced and mentally conditioned normal humans created as anti-coordinators, fulfilling a somewhat analogous role to the Universal Century's artificial new types. Which, sure. SEED also has SEED factor bearers, people who develop superhuman battle senses that function as a kind of human super mode. But it also turns out SEED also has new types, psychics just like in the original Gundam. The protagonist, Kira Yamato, is a new type SEED bearer coordinator. But he's not just any coordinator, he is the ultimate coordinator, literally born better than everyone else in the human species. More is more! SEED is kind of the ultimate realization of the ethos and philosophy that led to Wing, taking character-driven melodramatic hyperreality and then injecting it into the core narrative arc of the original Gundam. What if you took the conflict between Zeon and Earth, but replaced the class warfare and self-governance themes with mutual genocidal id? What if you took Char and Amuro's sporadic rivalry and made it the entire focus of the show? What if you took Amuro's role as the first of a revolutionary new form of humanity, and instead made him into a messianic figure capable of fighting 1,000 guys at once and beating them all non-lethally like some kind of gun-covered Jesus-Batman hybrid? There are so many things about SEED that rub me wrong. The over-designed mobile suits, everyone having the exact same face, the inexplicable perfect 15-year-old pop idol politician revolutionary love interest, the fact that the initially murky nature of the conflict is basically turned into a good guy versus bad guy narrative when they introduce Orb, the definitely not Japan island nation in the Pacific where coordinators and naturals get along, and despite its size, it can hold its own against everyone just because. That and them introducing 2 pantomime villains into the plot. The fact that they established that they discovered an alien space whale fossil, and this has no bearing on the plot whatsoever. Ever. And I'm not even going to get started on Gundam SEED Destiny because 1, I wouldn't want to spoil it for those who do actually want to watch it, and 2, the amount of bullshit I'd need to get into would make me sound insane. Gundam SEED Destiny is pretty divisive, even among fans of SEED, and it does color my views of SEED as a whole. Now, I just said all of that, and admittedly in a very disparaging tone. But is any of what I described really objectively bad? No, I don't think so. It's just not for me, and a lot of others, it turns out. Sunrise's big bet paid out in that it got a lot of fans. But turns out many of its new audience didn't really want to buy Gunpla, or necessarily even watch other Gundam series. Funny how that works. So, is Gundam SEED a good introductory Gundam series? Well, it depends what you want. If you're looking for a harder science fiction and the more grounded mecha action that the rest of Gundam is known for, you're not really gonna find it here. On the other hand, if what you want is an anime character drama couched in a lot of pretty lasers blasting into space, Gundam SEED may be for you. Hell, SEED is often held as a Gundam series that people who don't really care for mecha enjoy. If you're interested in watching SEED, I strongly recommend watching the remastered version over the original or the movie compilations. It's just much better looking, has some better pacing, and fixes a lot of the copious art mistakes. Next time. Wait a minute. You can't set Gundam in Anno Domini. That's our calendar. This is bullshit. Wait, you're fighting a war to end war? How does that work? Oh, terrorists with attitude. Got it. Where do you fall on Gundam SEED? Love it? Hate it? As is traditional, tear each other apart in the comments.